The concept of mind games is very broad. It exists in the most basic of plays to ones as complex as you can imagine. Like when you hear someone say, "Damn, look at those mind games," or, "You know what you need? More mind games." What do they really mean? So for today's episode, we're going to be dissecting the objective meaning behind the term mind games. The player interactions in fighting games, and actually many other games, can be broken down into a series of rock, paper, scissors like interactions. If we're talking about Smash on a very basic level, grab beats shield, shield beats attack, and attack beats grab. It can of course go much deeper, but for simplicity's sake, let's begin here. You're face to face squaring off against your arch nemesis in a match of good old rock, paper, scissors. Round starts, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Perhaps it's, when am I gonna play? If that's all, then you're thinking at the most basic level. Let's call it level 1. Now if you were to take it a level higher, level 2, before deciding what you're gonna play, you first ask yourself, what's my opponent gonna play? At level 3, what does the opponent think I'm gonna play? At level 4, it starts getting deep. What does my opponent think I think they're gonna play? As you can imagine, this can keep going on, but after a certain point, you have to ask yourself whether or not you're overthinking your decision, which ultimately depends on how deep your opponent's level of thinking is. Now what we want to do is swap rock, paper, and scissors with shield, grab, and attack, and the whole thing will go something like this. At level 1, I got attack on some damage, I better throw out an attack. At level 2, I think my opponent will shield, I should grab. At level 3, my opponent probably thinks I'm gonna grab, which means they're gonna counter with an attack, so I should shield. At level 4, my opponent probably thinks I think they want to attack, which means they think I'm gonna shield, which means they're gonna go for a grab, which finally means I should attack. I hope you were able to follow all of that. I really try my best to illustrate how deep the levels of thinking or mind games can go. Though remember, this is only with 3 actions. Factoring in other techniques and mechanics like air dodge, roll, dash dance, wave dash, and much more, we've expanded our simple game into a very complex one, each new option adding an extra layer of depth, which is what Smash and many other fighters are designed to be. More impressive yet is that these minigame interactions happen very frequently, and players must make split-second decisions constantly throughout the match. Although we can't physically see it, at the professional level where players are thinking at level 3, 4, or higher, their brain processes all these possibilities so fast it almost seems instinctual. I hope I've painted a clear picture so far as to how mind games work, but this is only the beginning. As you know, in many ways Smash is quite different compared to other fighters, especially the amount of space you're given. At the start of the match, the game doesn't force you immediately into a critical mind game situation. Both players are given ample time to prepare for the first engagement. This brings us to the next piece of the puzzle, range. Because the stages are so much larger in Smash compared to traditional fighters, there are many instances in a match where no significant play can be made. However, the moment one player approaches within, let's call it the critical range, then the mind games we've discussed will start coming into play. It's important to note that most of the time within this range, neither player is reacting to the other player's action. Rather, it's prediction. For example, if Samus shot her beam randomly at this distance, it'll never hit me, cause I'll be able to react with shield every time, no matter how randomly she shoots it. Not much prediction is involved, and it comes down mostly to just reflexes. However, once we're both this close, it's impossible to react with shield. Instead, I have to predict the beam is coming and pull up my shield preemptively. So at this range, it comes down to good prediction, more so than reflexes. This can of course be seen in any competitive match between 2 players. Once they approach the critical range, both will try to predict what the other will do, and either takes a defensive option or an offensive one. For instance, if you see this Meta Knight approach within range for, let's say, a dash attack, you might ask yourself, will he dash attack? Or is he gonna go for a grab? Perhaps something else? And vice versa in your opponent's point of view. The tide of the battle will turn in favor for the one who makes the correct prediction. This happens constantly throughout the match, and the summation of these interactions are also known as the neutral game. Of course, no top player got to where they are by just running in and hoping that they guess right, and that their opponent guesses wrong. They have to make themselves as unpredictable as possible, with the use of tricks like pressuring, conditioning, and baiting. For example, player A approaches player B and does a short hop. Player B, expecting an incoming aerial, which she commonly does, pulls up their shield. Now player A knows this, and instead of an aerial, they quickly fast fall into a grab. This is a form of baiting, known as a tomahawk. Now what about pressuring? In Smash 64 and Melee, shield stun is considerably higher, which makes shield pressure much more common. In this match, after the purple fox backairs the green fox, he immediately begins pressuring his shield with multi-shines. Due to the shield stun, the green fox's options are very limited. The purple fox predicts a jump, then throws out an aerial to punish. Shield pressuring is just one of the many examples of how applying pressure can help you win an interaction in the neutral game. Now, something unique to Smash is the ability to tech. Tech chase situations are very interesting, because in just a matter of a second, one player is able to eliminate all options from their opponent, except for a few. Tech on spot, tech forwards, tech backwards, or no tech at all. This will also help me illustrate the next topic under the mind games umbrella that I want to discuss: reads. There are soft reads and there are hard reads. Game & Watch's down throw and brawl will demonstrate this nicely, since the opponent is immediately forced into a tech chase situation. A hard read would be a punish that covers only one get up option, but the punish will be very strong. A soft read would be a punish that covers multiple get up options, but the punish will be much weaker. Reads are behind everything we've talked about, and is essentially the backbone of mind games. Though how does one make good reads? Well, this has everything to do with pattern recognition. For human nature, it's common to see reactions based off of events in the past. To simply predict an outcome without experience a form of it before is nearly impossible. Interesting enough, this was further proved in a 21-page study done at a massive rock paper scissors tournament, where scientists found that a majority of the players who won a match tend to repeat their winning hand, and the losers tend to switch it up. So if you're able to get into your opponent's head and figure out their tendencies, you'll be constantly one step ahead of them. More importantly though, how does this apply to Smash and fighting games in general? Let's use a very basic example: 50-50 situations. At high percentages, Rob's down throw sends Mario upwards, leaving him with only two options, either air dodge or jump. Air dodging will save Mario from an immediate up air from Rob, but it won't if Rob delays the up air. On the other hand, jumping will save Mario from a delayed up air, but won't if he up airs immediately. Both players have only two options and a 50% chance of choosing the correct one. Winning the mind game presented in this situation all comes down to whether or not you can read your opponent, which ultimately depends on your ability to detect their past 50-50 decisions and how well you can decipher a pattern. The faster you're able to do this, the better you can condition your opponent. Now, what is conditioning? In a nutshell, it's planting an idea and creating an expectation in your opponent's mind. Revisiting Rob's down throw example, let's say I down threw Mario 4 times in the same set, and every single time I immediately up aired, and Mario simply air dodged to avoid it each time. At this point, Mario probably thinks I'm gonna instantly up air again after my 5th down throw, but nope, I waited out and up air right after. In this situation, I conditioned Mario to air dodge by repeating the same action multiple times, and created the expectation that I would up air immediately every time, but changed it up when he least expected it. Conditioning can even be applied in the middle of a combo. This is often used in fighting games when a player wants to deal even more damage than which was originally guaranteed from their combo. It's also known as a reset. To do this, they intentionally drop the guaranteed combo at a specific time, which naturally throws the opponent off guard, as they're expecting to get hit with a certain move. This moment of vulnerability allows the attacker to either initiate the combo again, or start a new combo to deal even more damage. This form of conditioning is often done in Smash as well. Let's use this match of Zero vs Nairo as an example. As most of you probably know, Diddy's down tilt to up smash is a kill combo at the right percents. Throughout the set, Diddy has been using the combo to take out Samus's stock multiple times. At the last stock of the set, Diddy, knowing that Samus is probably conditioned to try and air dodge the combo, decides to wait for it, then reinitiates the combo with another down tilt, and finally a back air for the kill. Although we may not always be aware of it, everyone uses mind games at a certain level. It plays such a big part behind the scenes of what we can only physically see, despite the fact that it's constantly happening, every moment, in every match. I always found that trying to discuss and define the term mind games was very difficult without simplifying it too much or making it too confusing. But I really hope I painted a clear picture with this video. I want to first give a big thanks to the artist who helped me out with the illustrations in this video. Her name is Sophia Fish, and you can check out more of her work on her Instagram or watch her digital paintings on Twitch. Links will be in the description. For anyone who wants to support my content, I do have Patreon, which you can visit by clicking here or in the description. After the YouTube advertising issue, won't lie, it's been a bit hard, so even $1 will help. Of course, I'll be making content either way, but your support will help me out a lot. And a big thanks to my current Patreons. Your continued support means a lot to me. Sylveon Bay, Brooke Miad, Big Diddies, Ethan Stevenson, Austin Lau, Ahmed Lois, and many others. Seriously, thank you. I really appreciate it. Well anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch everyone in the next video.